welcome to Colleagues Getting Coffee. My name is Annalise James, and today I am dressed all fancy and floaty and pink because I'm with the fabulous Jane Cooke of Dress Rehearsal.
Fabulous and floaty. I love it. Love it. And it looks absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, darling.
And I love those earrings.
Oh, thank you. I had to make an impression. You do style, so I was like, oh, God, no pressure.
You made an impression, and a very good one.
Thank you. So, with this in mind, would you like to tell people what it is you do?
What is it I do? Fundamentally, I work with women in their confidence, and for 10 years I've helped women how to dress, how to express their personality on the inside out. I no longer work with many one-to-one clients, but on the whole I work with workshops. So I'll do the occasional workshop these days, few and far between, but I do still do workshops. But these days I train other women to do what I've been doing for the last 10 years. So
women in business or personal or both?
In terms of those that I'm training, so far the 5 trainees I've worked with or I am working with currently are all women who are looking to move into the dress rehearsal kind of thing business-wise. So women who are stuck in jobs they no longer enjoy, those that, like myself, who've always wanted to do what I do but not really been brave enough until now, and they're stepping out and pushing themselves out the comfort zone to really do the work that they love.
So
fascinating.
I mean, I think it's such a liberating thing, because how you dress, for men and for women actually, is such a fundamental thing. About how people make an impression and how professional or personable someone seems.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of showing who you are without having to speak. And we make a subconscious assessment of people within seconds. And if we
terrifying,
can make
actually. It's a little bit terrifying.
It is a little bit terrifying. But actually, when you're dressing your truth and you're showing exactly who you are, it's just completely natural. And for me, it's about being so sure of showing who you are on the outside that you don't even have to think about what you're wearing. You're not comparing, you're not thinking, oh, you know, is it too short? Is it the right colour? Do I look okay? You can park that and get on with the job in hand. And especially when that comes to business, I think that's very, very important.
Well, it's very true. I'm quite lucky. I've had quite a lot of female role models in business, which is lovely. And I remember when I first got a management role and I was really nervous. I just suddenly had a team of 5. I was like, oh my God. And it was a lovely colleague of mine called Jill, and she said, Annalise, put on the dress, put on the heels, make sure you've got your slap on, and do it.
Absolutely.
And it was transformational, actually, because it really made me buy into the job, and I was like, put on my armour, as it were.
Absolutely. I often use the phrase step into your business shoes.
Oh, nice.
Because it really is it's true, isn't it? You step in, and I don't know if it's Marilyn Monroe or someone equally famous and gorgeous said, give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, you do need the clothes and everything else to go with it, but on the sentiment behind that, I think, is very true.
Well, women are quite lucky, aren't they? Because we are able to express ourselves in this. When men in business, they're quite confined, I think.
Or they feel it, although I've had a recent experience which is fascinating. We went to see an accountant, and the guy who was the accountant, I wish I could remember his name, but he was dressed so differently, so snappily. His jacket was almost military, but not quite. It just had that edge, and it made me think, do you know, this guy knows what he's doing, not just in terms of dress, but in terms of his work and his business. And I think that's the ideal for us, isn't it?
And it makes such a bigger impact if a guy does it, because it's quite unexpected. I mean, I even find it, you know, when sometimes guys are wearing like different colour socks and you think, no, that's kind of sharp.
Stripy socks, yes. You know, under the grey suit, it's quite good.
A little bit of personality there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So how did you get into this then?
How did I get into it? Okay. Long time ago, my daughter was tiny, and for some reason I ended up in this mother and toddler group evening meeting. I couldn't even tell you where it was or the subject or why I was there, but I was in this audience, and the speaker was a lady who does what I do, or have been doing for the last 10 years.
Okay, yeah.
And she chose from the audience 2 people as examples of them not dressing well.
Yeah.
And was
God, that's brutal.
It was brutal. I tell you, my confidence took a real dive. But I was hoiked out of the audience with 2 other women to show that the colours that we were wearing were not our best, and then we were draped with colours that were good. So I was the example of that transformation.
Yeah.
And whilst I did feel humiliated at the time because I lacked confidence, I was obviously a lot younger than I am now. And but it was the turning point for me.
Yeah.
I saw in the mirror that day, that evening, that I could make a whole lot of difference to myself.
Wow.
So I didn't have money to spend in those days, so I had to save. And I saved for my first colour session. And that was the start, really. I started dressing in colour, people noticed, my confidence rose, and I knew really in those early days that I wanted to share this with other women.
Yeah.
But my confidence was low, and it actually took me 10 years, having sent off all the training details, it took me 10 years to actually bite the bullet and do it.
Wow.
And the reason I did bite the bullet was one day I took all the stuff out of the drawer, the information like I used to do intermittently, and say, right, you know, I really want to do, I'd get excited. And this one particular day, instead of putting it back in the drawer and saying, who am I? I'm not the fashionista. There are people out there more stylish than me, and all the little, you know, twitterings. I actually made a note of the date of the communication, and it was actually 10 years. It was dated 10 years ago. And I just thought, Jane, if you don't do this now, another 10 years will go past, and you actually won't do what you love. And I made the call that day.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I got started.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how many people do you think that you've helped between starting and now?
Thousands. I must count it up one day, but it's certainly thousands.
Amazing.
And thousands, yeah.
So you focus on 3 categories, is that right?
Yeah.
So style, colour and shape.
And shape, yes. So the colours that suit us and light us up, and get your wardrobe mixing and matching, which makes life a whole lot easier and you spend less money. So that's colour. Shape, the clothing shapes that fit your body. Back in the day, before I knew what I know today, in my youth, instead of skinny jeans, we used to call them drain pipe jeans. And they were the thing, and on my body shape they looked appalling. So I was in that mindset, if I lost another half a stone, I'd get in them. I was fat, blah blah blah, and actually I was just putting the wrong shape of jeans on me. And when I learnt that, it was a revelation. It wasn't me and my body that was wrong, it was the clothing I was putting on me that was wrong for me. Once I found what was perfect for me.
Shape is so important.
And actually a lot of small tweaks add up to a huge difference. And personal style, that's dressing for your personality. That's very key, I think. Particularly, I like doing things around personal branding. And I think that how you come across, particularly in business, is super important. Definitely. And I mean, I know this lovely lady called Lisa Lavis from Glow. It's a marketing agency, and she always wears, it's almost kind of this shade of pink, and she always wears this jacket. And she said to me that she doesn't wear it on purpose, but she just really likes it. But it's so iconic of her that in a crowd you'll be like, oh, it's Lisa. It's really strange. And there's another lady called Alison Edgar, and she's the entrepreneur's godmother, and her whole branding is pink. It's like a slightly more baby pink. But again, everything she does, and she always wears that shade. And I just think it's kind of clever, actually, if you can harness the power of colour. Absolutely. Or you wear your group of colours. So it might be pink, it might be bright blue, it might be all brights, it might be all soft. Whatever it is, if you are wearing that wherever you go to network, seeing with clients, people actually think this person is authentic, she knows who she is, so therefore she's going to be authentic with me, and she's going to know what she's doing with me. I mean, that first impression, like you said earlier, speaks 1,000 words before you utter one. But also the thing is as well, if you've kind of given yourself time to
spend this time and invest in this aspect of your life, then you don't need to worry about it. You've got your clothes on, you've got your look, and then you walk into the meeting and it's just what comes out of your mouth then.
Exactly.
You've done half the work already.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
And I've actually found over the years that if you're wearing great colour and you come across as stylish, people are actually attracted to you. And once I really understood the power of that, it's fascinating. So I used to find when I was networking, going out networking as opposed to hosting now that I do, people would come to me, they gravitate towards colour. So that's fascinating.
Style, colour and shape. So what are your, say one good tip that you've picked up then or have shared with others in each category?
Okay, colour first. I think on the whole, we know when we put on a colour that it's right for us because we feel it.
Okay. I feel that about this actually.
Yeah, exactly. When you start stroking things, when you're looking in the mirror and you're doing a little bit of this, even if you don't admit it to anyone else, you just feel really good in it.
Okay.
That sort of feeling. And another really good one is take photographs of yourself in outfits and then go back a week or two later and actually look at them objectively and which colour really makes you shine.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
So that's colour. Excellent.
Shape, again, take photos of what you wear and look at the maybe the less obvious but the smaller things. Is the neckline doing you any favours? Is it drawing a line on your body somewhere that you'd rather not draw that visual line on? Okay. So for example, with myself, I have heavy thighs. If I end a cardigan or a jacket or anything on that level, the length of a top, it draws that visual line and you see it.
I'm now just going to burn everything in my wardrobe.
I'm sure you won't. However, if you were to lift the top up a little bit, we wouldn't see it, or lower it down. Look at the lengths of your clothing. You know, where are you ending it? Are you ending your dress or your coat at a flattering point of your leg? Does it need to come up or down a little bit? If you've got a way, show it. Having said that, most of us like to take ideas from current trends, and there are ways that you can make what's of the moment work for your shape. But to start with, really work with your shape.
I think I find that quite challenging actually, even just going short. That's why I actually make quite a lot of my clothes myself, because amazing. I just can't bear going into a store and thinking, oh, that looks nice, but it's kind of probably much more trendy than I should be wearing, and it probably looks ghastly on, but I think, oh well, this is in fashion and I should probably be in fashion.
Which brings us on to personal style, because personal style is not about fashion. We take elements of what's in fashion with what's right for us, and for me, personal style is our energy and matching the patterns, for example, or maybe we don't wear pattern at all, matching them to us and our personality. It's the type of fabric. Do you like?
I do love a little bit of a chiffon
and a sheen, which I think is perfect for you. It's also perfect for me, but it's not perfect for everybody. So it's about the fabrics. It's also about the feeling. So for myself, I like flow and drape, so I'll do fitted, but I like to add flow and drape. And if I haven't got that drape, for example, today, if I was wearing a formal jacket, I would feel that my energy was restricted in that. So it's a really tricky one to communicate unless you're in the room, so to speak, with lots of pictures to show clients and what have you. But I
suppose also you have to have a really fundamental good understanding of who you are as a person. A lot of people kind of aren't necessarily there, like they just kind of know they quite like this or quite like that, but they don't necessarily stand for something, so then it's even more tricky actually.
It is, and we get misled by what's in fashion, thinking we should be doing that, and the comparison thing is huge with women. We look at other women, and you know, someone might be saying, "Oh, Annalise, that's gorgeous. I love what she's wearing, so I'm going to go and buy something similar," expecting it to work. Them, you put it on them, and it actually isn't for them at all. But personal style is about really understanding who you to my job or my trainees' jobs to to do that for the client, but we work together and sort of we piece together a personal style, a signature look, if you like, for that person.
So you moved then from starting this business by yourself,
Yes.
and you've changed your business model.
I have.
That's interesting. So that's essentially scaling up.
Yes.
How did that happen?
It is. I'm very much about following the heart and flowing. And about it's not 2 years ago now, 3 years ago, I was really feeling it was time to move on. It was feeling a bit same old, same old. I never felt like that with my clients, but I knew I was ready to move on and do something different.
Yeah.
So I knew I was done with the model that I'd been using, but I knew I wasn't done with the subject.
Yeah.
So it was in my head, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Well, essentially everything grows, doesn't it?
It does.
And
evolves, absolutely.
It's nice also, I suppose, because if you're doing something by yourself, business, it can be quite lonely.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite nice to grow that community.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. So what actually happened was I had a client arrive and we did our session as normal. And as she was leaving, she said, "Jane, there's something I really want to ask you, but I just don't know if I can or whether I should." And I'm going, "Oh, just ask me." And she said, "Would you train me? Would you train me to do this?"
Okay.
And I've been asked many, many, many times before, but I was ready. So I said yes, and then I thought, okay, so I have to write a course now. So there's nothing like having to do something that actually make you do it. So yes, Sue trained with me, and I then started being more visible on Facebook and Instagram about that, saying that I was training others, and the others have just followed.
Well, I suppose as well, because what you're doing is so transformational. If you actually have people who have been involved in it, they realise the impact it can have on your life.
Absolutely.
So they want to be involved in also giving that back to others.
Yeah,
it's lovely, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think anyone who's wanting to train. Yes, they're going to be interested in clothing and styling and all that kind of thing, and usually dressing very, very well themselves. But it's actually deeper than that. The piece that we need in addition is the piece that's about transformation for others. It's about sharing what you know, your knowledge, to empower other women. And I think that's been the thread of the work I've done always throughout my life.
Well, actually, because that leads into the next thing we're going to talk about, which is free range women in business.
Yes.
Which is also an amazing thing that you do.
Yes.
Very inspirational. Okay, so tell us about that then.
So again, that was total flow, total flow. Back 3 years ago when I was spinning on my pond a bit thinking, what's my next move? The training hadn't quite happened. And I found myself in a networking, business coachy kind of environment for 6 months. And the leader of that group was looking for someone to run a networking group in Fareham. And I just put my hand up in that moment and said, I'll do it. I'll do a 3-month trial. I'm spinning on this pond at the moment. Let's see how it goes. So I did it for 3 months and it went really, really well. I loved it. I didn't think I would, but I did, and it went well. And then the lady who had asked me to run the group said, actually, this isn't working for me. I no longer want to do this, but Jane, you do with it what you will. Carry on, don't carry on, change the name, whatever. So I asked the group, do you want more of this? They said they did. So I changed the name to Free Range Women in Business, and that was 2 years ago, and we're still going strong.
So what happens at Free Range Women?
What happens? It's not your average networking group. This is what people keep telling me, so I'm beginning to believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally agree with that.
So it's about it is about networking, obviously meeting people and sharing your business, but it's also a lot of personal development in there, a lot of sharing, a lot of caring, and a lot of friendship and fun.
Yeah.
When we work on our own, it can be quite lonely at times. There's no backstop.
Yeah.
We're responsible for everything, and not everyone understands that. You know, those you live with tend to, and my husband certainly does, and he's 100% on board. But wider friends and family often don't understand what it's like, because they've never done it. They don't know. They've never been in that situation.
Well, it's scary and it's just completely unknown, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
it's
actually different for every person.
It is
for every different business.
Yeah. I read somewhere. In fact, I heard it at a self-development day years and years ago, someone say, if you want the best self-development course on the planet, run your own business.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, because it's a roller coaster, isn't it?
Oh my God,
You're either riding that wave, woohoo, it's going amazing, and then you can come down. Is
My
it going to
ship
work?
is sinking.
Yeah, the ship is sinking.
It's okay, I fixed it.
Yeah, it is. And if you can get together with women who experience the same or similar and support each other. And what I love about Free Range Women is we're attracting women who are authentic and they're doing what they're doing from the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they do what they love and they want to share. Just amazing space. Love it.
See, this is why I'm happy. I'm like, yes, because that's me. And I'm like, I go to Free Range Women, yes. Yeah. I have to say that it was one of the best things I've ever been to. Oh my God, I loved it.
Thank you.
It was just like the personal development piece was super important. Like, it was actually really nice to not have really contrived, now we're going to learn this because I do this. I find with networking it's quite often a sales pitch. And I just really appreciated the space and the support from the other women. And obviously everyone has businesses and they're looking at how we can support one another, but it wasn't the main point.
No,
really,
it isn't. And we have a lot of collaborations going on behind the scenes, so people doing workshops together. So it is about collaboration, not competition. And we have more than one hypnotherapist, more than one coach, etc. in the group. There's room for everyone at Free Range Women because our clients are attracted to the individual. So you could line up 3 coaches, 3 hypnotherapists.
The one that you feel the best fit with,
exactly.
Well, that's business, isn't it?
And that's exactly how it is, and I believe how it should be.
So we can share a link then, can we, on here to Free Range Women?
You can indeed, the more the merrier, the more the merrier. And I loved the video you did for us, actually.
Oh, yes.
It was very, very good and well received.
I was thinking of doing some more for you, actually. I was like, I might do a
definitely.
Bring the gimbal next time, make it proper, rather than just random bits. Amazing. Okay, so for me, I think a lot of what we've been talking about in business for you is sort of about authenticity, it's about instinct, it's about flow.
Yes.
What would you say, almost as a final thought, I suppose, would you say is your kind of #1 business ethic, or that one true thing that you feel propels you in business?
Intuition.
Oh yeah.
Hands down. Follow your intuition, and that's about what's true for you, what feels honest, what feels right. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah. God, I've felt that before. I'm like, oh no.
And the reason I say that is because intermittently over the 10, 11 years I've been running my own business in this field. I have run another business which was flowers a long time ago. But sometimes it's very easy to get sucked in, drawn into bright, shiny objects. Oh, will you do this? Will you do that? Would you like to do that? And at the time it feels lovely and new and exciting. And you can get there and think, this is so wrong for me. And then you have to extract yourself, which feels very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. So if only everyone could really get into that space of, when I'm doing that, how's it going to feel? Does it feel right for me?
It's funny because actually a colleague of mine said the other day it's like a sweet shop. And when you're new to business, you're very excited because people are offering you lots of different sweets, and you're like, oh, I'll have all of these. And then suddenly you've got far too many sweets, going to be sick, and you're like, oh, I need to give some of these sweets back. This is now really awkward.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy, and it really is, like you say, it's a very, very uncomfortable scenario to have to extract yourself. So. Tune in, and tune in, I think.
I love it. Amazing. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Anything we've missed?
Well, we've talked about so much.
We have.
I think to round off, perhaps, for me, it's about doing what you love. Do what you love, be prepared to flow. And just enjoy the ride.
Amazing. How can people find out more about you?
And my website, Dress Rehearsal, dress-rehearsal.co.uk.
Okay,
I'm on
lovely.
Instagram as Dress Rehearsal, no, Jane Cooke, Stylist Training, and
Very
I'm
nice.
on Facebook as well.
So we'll pop some links in the comments then as
yes,
well.
yeah, that'd be lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it.
Been
It was so
amazing.
good. I'm going to get you to give me a little something on the side now. Tell me about my colour choice.
Absolutely, let's do
And
it.
my earrings and stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.